Hello students, in this video we are going to start third chapter, continuous function. Continuous function. First we will see definition of continuous function. Let x be and y be two metric spaces. Be two metric spaces. A function f from x to y is said to be continuous at x0 belongs to capital X if for each epsilon greater than 0 there exists a delta greater than 0 such that distance between x and x0 is strictly less than delta. That implies rho of f of x comma f of x0 is strictly less than epsilon x is belongs to capital X. That is, x is belongs to s delta of x0 implies f of x is belongs to s epsilon of f of x0. This is rho of, which means the same thing as f of s delta of x0 is contained in s epsilon of f of x0. Okay. See here, what is the definition of continuous function? xd and y row be two metric spaces. It is a function from x to y. Suppose this is your x set and this is your y set. It's said to be continuous at point x0 is belongs to capital X if there exists epsilon greater than for each epsilon greater than 0 there exists a delta greater than 0 such that distance between x and x0 is strictly less than delta. Suppose here is x and distance of this x and x0 suppose this is your x0 and this is suppose here is x. This is s delta of x0. Means distance between x and x0 is strictly less than delta, and this distance is delta. Image of x0 is f of x0, and suppose image of f of x is image of x is f of x, and suppose this is epsilon. This is f of this is s epsilon of f of x0. Now understand the definition. See here, first definition is distance between x and x0 is strictly less than delta implies distance between f of x0 and f of x is strictly less than epsilon. Okay. That is, if x is belongs to s delta of x0, Means if axis belongs to open sphere centered at x0 with radius delta, that implies f of x is belongs to open sphere centered at f of x0, which is the same thing as, means this image of this open sphere is contained in S epsilon of f of x0. Okay, this is the definition of continuous function. First is d of x comma x. If d of x comma x0 is strictly less than delta, that implies the rho of f of x comma f of x0 is strictly less than epsilon. If that is x belongs to S delta of x0, that implies image of x is contained in S epsilon of f of x0, or which is the same as f of S delta of x0 is a subset of S epsilon of f of x0. Okay. The function f is said to be continuous on x if it is continuous at every point of x, if it is continuous at every point of x. Okay. Examples of continuous function. First example is in a metric space xd, the identity function I from x to x is continuous. And second example is, let Ru be the usual metric space let Ru be the usual metric space, and f from R to R be a constant function. Then f is continuous. Okay. Now we will see theorems on continuous function. First theorem is let order pair xt and order pair y rho be metric spaces, and f from x cross to y be a function. Then f is continuous. At a point. X0 belongs to capital X. If and only if f of xn converges to f of x0 for every sequence x0 is a subset of x with xn converges to x0. Okay. Proof. We first assume that f is continuous at x0. F is continuous at x0, and we will show that f of xn converges to f of x0. Okay. Let epsilon greater than 0 be given and sequence xn be a sequence in capital X such that xn converges to x0. We have given that. Therefore, by using definition of convergence of sequence, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that f of s delta of x0 is contained in s epsilon of f of x0. Okay, because s is continuous at x0. So by using definition of continuity, also since xn is converges to x0, now here use definition of convergence of sequence. There exists a positive integer n such that xn is belongs to s delta of x0 for all n is greater than or equal to capital N. For all n is greater than or equal to capital N. Therefore, f of xn is belongs to s epsilon of, okay, see here xn is belongs to s delta of x. Therefore, we will get f of xn is belongs to f of s delta of x. Okay. Therefore, but f of s delta of x, here is x0, which is containing s epsilon of f of x0. So we will get f of xn is belongs to s epsilon of f of x0. S epsilon of f of x0 for all n is greater than or equal to capital N. Therefore, f of xn converges to f of x0. Hence, we have proved which we want to prove. Now, conversely, assume that f of xn converges to f of x0 and prove that f is continuous. Okay. Conversely, let f of xn converges to f of x0. For every sequence xn with xn converges to x0. Okay. We will prove this by contradiction. Let it possible f be not continuous at x0. f be not continuous at x0. Let it possible f be not continuous at x0. Then there exists an epsilon greater than 0 such that there is no open sphere. There is no open sphere centered on x0 whose f image is contained in S epsilon of f of x0. Okay. Consider the sequence of open spheres. Consider the sequence of open spheres. S1 of x0, S1 by 2 of x0, and so on up to S1 by n of x0, and so on. Let xn belongs to S1 by n of x0 be such that whose f image of xn does not contain or does not belong to S epsilon of f of x0. Thus we get a sequence xn which is a subset of capital X with xn converges to x0 such that f of xn does not converges to f of x0, but in our hypothesis f of xn is converges to f of x0. This is a contradiction. To the hypothesis. F of xn converges to f of x0. Hence our assumption is wrong. Therefore, f is continuous at x0. Hence, proof of theorem is completed. Let us check one theorem. Let order pair xp and order pair y be metric spaces and f from x to y be a function f from x2 and f from x to y be a function f from x to y be a function, then f is continuous, if and only if for each x belongs to capital A, f of xn converges to f of x, for every sequence xn is a subset of capital X with xn converges to x. Okay, proof of this theorem is same as previous theorem. Okay, let us take next theorem. Let order pair xd and order pair y row be metric spaces, and f from x to y be a function, then f is continuous, if and only if f inverse of g is open in X whenever g is open in Y. Let us take proof of this theorem. First we understand what is theorem. We have given xd and y row be two metric spaces. It is f is a function from x to y. Then f is continuous if and only if g is open in y, then f inverse of g is open in x. Okay. Let f be a continuous function. And g be open in y. Our claim f inverse of g is open in X. F inverse of g is open in X. Okay. We have to show that f inverse of g is open. What is the definition of open set? Any set, suppose g is open, if for all x belongs to g, there exists a open sphere which is a subset of g, then that set g is open. So here we have to take some x belongs to f inverse of g, and we have to show that open sphere centered on x is totally contained in f inverse of g. Take some x belongs to f inverse of g. Okay. Therefore, apply f1, f here, we will get f of x belongs to, okay. But we have given that since G is open and f of x is belongs to G, that implies by definition of open space S epsilon of f of x means open sphere centered on f of x with radius epsilon is totally contained in G because G is open. But it is true for some epsilon greater than 0, not for all. But in hypothesis we have given that f being continuous. Use definition of continuity, continuous. Therefore, by definition of continuity, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that f of s delta of x such that f of s delta of x is subset of s epsilon f of x. Okay, by definition of continuity. But s epsilon of f of x is a subset of G. Therefore, f of s delta of x is a subset of G. Therefore, s delta of x is a subset of f inverse of G. Means open sphere centered on x is totally contained in f inverse of G. Therefore, by definition of open set, f inverse of G is open. Hence, we have proved which we want to prove. Okay. Now we will prove converse part. In converse part, we have to assume that f inverse of G is open in X. Conversely, assume that f inverse of G is open in X whenever G is open in Y. Whenever G is open in Y. Okay. And here our claim is f is continuous. Claim is f is continuous. Let x is belongs to capital X be arbitrary, and epsilon greater than 0 be given. Okay. Therefore, f of x is belongs to y because f is a function from x to y. If x is belongs to x, then image of x is belongs to y, and f epsilon of f of x is open set, and s epsilon of f of x is open set. Therefore, by assumption, when G is open in Y, its inverse image is open in X. Therefore, by assumption, f inverse of s epsilon of f of x, is an open set, open set, and obviously x is belongs to f inverse of s epsilon of f of x. Okay. Consequently, there exists a delta greater than 0 such that S delta of x is subset of f inverse of s epsilon of f of x, because this f inverse of s epsilon of f of x is open. So open sphere centered on x for some delta which is totally containing f inverse of s epsilon of f of x, that is f of s delta of x is totally containing s epsilon of f of x. Okay, this is the definition of continuous function. Therefore f is continuous at x, and hence f is continuous function. Hence proof of theorem is completed. Okay, we will stop here. Thank you.